Hi everyone, welcome back to another flashlight video here. This time Wurkkos was kind enough to send out the channel here their new HD02 Multifunctional Flat flashlight. This flashlight's got some pretty awesome features to it. I would call this flashlight more of a multi-tool flashlight. You could call this an EDC flashlight. This tends to be a little bit on the larger side as far as an EDC flashlight, as most EDC flashlights tend to be on the smaller side. But this flashlight has a lot of features that you might want to carry with you every day in case you need them. But I think a better fit for this name would be a multi-tool flashlight, as it's got so many different capabilities. As you can see, this has a spotlight, it has UV light, has a green laser, and it has folding wing lights. And it's got some pretty unique features to those wing lights, which we'll get into here shortly as we go through all the specs and features of this flashlight. But real quick, to save time, I went ahead and unboxed everything just to show you what you do get with the flashlight. So you do get a nice lanyard with the flashlight. You do get 2 spare O-rings. You do get a USB-C to USB-C charging cable. And you do, of course, get the user manual. Now, as I do in most of my videos, I'll go ahead and put the user manual on the screen here so you guys can check that out. If you want to read further on that, you can. So let's take a closer look here at the HD02 by Wurkkos. As you see, it's got a pretty unique design feature, and it is kind of a flat flashlight, as you can see. But it's got a really nice clip on it here. So you can clip it to your pants, your shorts, your pocket, backpack, what have you. So pretty nice there. You also have a very strong magnetic tail. This is very strong. I mean, this is a pretty big flashlight. So I stuck this to my fridge. It didn't move. It didn't try to slide down the fridge or anything. It just stuck right to it. So it's a very strong magnet on here. So if you need to stick it to metal objects, you can. And you also have a 1/4-inch thread in here. So you can stick this to a tripod if you wish for some different lighting capabilities or things that you might need to do with a tripod and a light. So that's a nice feature to have here. Now, as I said, this is USB-C rechargeable, but it's not just USB rechargeable, it's bi-directional charging. Now, I'll put this on screen a little bit, just a picture here of this bi-directional charging. And so this is able to be charged at 5 volts at 2.4 amps. So it's got very fast charging. So you can fully charge this flashlight in 2.5 hours. And as it is bi-directional, you can also use this as a battery bank. So you can actually charge your phone or other devices that take USB Type-C. And again, it's a 5 volt, 2.4 amp output. So you have a fast charging capability and battery bank that you can carry with you. So another feature of this multi-tool flashlight, as I would say. Now, another thing I like about this is, unlike some flashlights, the batteries in here are detachable. So you can change out the battery in here. Now, this does have a 21700 battery in it. So it's got a pretty hefty, large capacity battery in it. It's a 5,000 milliamp hour rechargeable lithium ion battery. So a very nice battery, but I like that you can swap it out. I don't like the flashlights where if the battery dies and it's an internal battery, you can't change it out, especially if you really like the flashlight and you can't replace it. So I like that. You got a dual spring design. So you got a spring here on the tail cap. It has the very strong magnet, as I said. And I'll shine a light down here. You can see it. It's going to be kind of hard to see with the autofocus. But there is a dual spring design on the flashlight. So we'll go ahead and put the battery back inside. And it does thread back on very smoothly. And of course, I like it has that flat design on the bottom, so you can tail stand it. It uses a lantern. I'll show you different ways you can use it as a lantern here coming up. But I really like that feature. This is IPX6 waterproof. Now, IPX6 doesn't mean it can be submerged underwater, but it can take heavy rain and water and jets of water in all directions. So as far as water resistance, it's going to be great, especially in all weather conditions, even a monsoon or something, or heavy rain. So you should be good there. You saw the dual spring design, so it is 1 meter impact resistant. This is made from aviation grade aluminum. So it is an all aviation grade aluminum body. Now let's talk about the switches. You have 2 switches here, actually. You have what they call an Omni control hub. So you have a switch that right here that clicks and lets you select which light you want to use. So right now it's on spotlight, but if you click it to the left, that goes to the UV light. Go back to center, back to spotlight again, and click it to the right, you're on the laser. So very nice there. This switch in the button to turn it on and off also has an LED indicator light. And that LED indicator light, when you are charging this flashlight, it will be solid red when charging and solid green when charged. Okay. And I'll put this on screen here. So it does have an LED indicator light for the battery level. So I'll put this on screen here. So solid green means your battery between 75 and 100%. Blinking green, your battery is between 50 and 75%. Solid red, your battery is between 25 and 50%. And if it's flashing red, your battery is less than 25%. If you're going to be using it for an extended period of time, I would suggest you replace or recharge the battery first to make sure you don't have an issue. This does have a boost control current driver or a boost constant current driver. It does have reverse polarity protection, so I really like that. So if you actually put the battery in the wrong way, you won't fry the flashlight. I've told many times the story of my laser, and I put the battery in backwards, and unfortunately it fried my laser because I put it in backwards. So this you don't have to worry about. And honestly, sometimes I've just been in a rush or a hurry, and you might put it in the battery in backwards, not realizing what you're doing. So I really like that safety feature, so you don't have to worry about frying your battery, or I mean your flashlight, by putting the battery in the wrong way. All right, I put this on screen here, the dimensions. So as I said, it's a pretty fairly large flashlight, but let's go through the dimensions here. So lengthwise, it's 126 millimeters or 4.96 inches. Width is 41 millimeters or 1.61 inches. And the height of this flashlight is 26 millimeters or 1.02 inches. And as you can see on the right, I have the weight here. The weight is 195 grams or 0.43 pounds. So it's not a light flashlight, but it's not terribly heavy either. So it's really not that bad. I would definitely say this is something you could easily carry with you in your pocket or a backpack or whatever, and just have all kinds of capabilities with you. So pretty cool there. All right, so let's go through the lighting features, and we'll go through all the specs as we go through the different lighting features, and we'll go through the UI a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the light here so we can kind of see the light a little bit more. So first we'll go in the spotlight. We already have the Omni control hub in spotlight. So to turn it on, you just press the button once. And you'll start out in low, and this has a ramping design, so it's not a step design. So if you want to increase the output, you just hold the button down, and it does have memory. So if you get to an output you like and you turn it off and turn it back on, it does remember it. But you can ramp it up or ramp it down. So spec-wise on here, on low, which is 10 lumens, you have a runtime of 140 hours. So that's pretty good, and 10 lumens is pretty good if you had to use it in an emergency to at least light up an area enough to walk around, not bump into things. That, you know, as long as you're in a familiar area, you should be good. Turbo is 3,200 lumens. So if you want to jump to turbo, you can double click it. It's going to get very bright. My camera will probably auto adjust. And if you click it again, it just goes back to its previous setting. And it will step down over time for heat to protect itself. So you got like 1 minute of runtime, and it'll step down to 1,000 lumens for about 105 minutes. And you do have strobe, so this is a strobe warning. So to get into strobe, you're going to triple click. And it has an altering strobe, and they say the strobe's at 3,200 lumens, so it is pretty bright, so we'll get out of that. Max throw on the spotlight is 330 meters, and the max intensity is 27,175 candela. And we will be taking this outside shortly to show all the lighting features outside in the dark to see how that is in the beam shots. All right, so to get to UV, you just flip the button to the left. Now we're in UV mode. And UV can be fun. You can do all kinds of things with it. You can look for stains. You can look for all kinds of different things with the UV light. Professionals can use it for various things too. And you can see a lot of really cool colors when you use the UV light. So I'll try to put some pictures or video here in this video, just showing some of the UV light capabilities. Hopefully I can get that captured on the camera fine. But let's talk about the UV light. So you're starting out in high, I think, or this might be low. Let's check it. All right, so if you hold the button down, you switch between low and high. So right now we're in low to start. So low is 0.8 watts, and it's good for 15 hours. If you pump it into high, it's at 3 watts, and it's good runtime for 5 hours. I'll bump it back down to low. Now we're going to bump it into the laser. So I don't know how this is going to show up. And before we do the laser, I'm just going to put a warning on the screen here. So anyone may be new to lasers or what have you, you just want to make sure that you look at all your laws to make sure you're operating it correctly and within the laws of your area. And also, please don't point it at pets or people, and definitely don't shine it at any aircraft. That's a big no-no always. So let's go to the laser here. It's pretty bright. I'll put it on the black pad there, but it's really bright. So the specs of the green laser, so the output is 3 milliwatts, and it's got a runtime of 60 hours. So just a note, I don't know if you can want to run this thing for 60 hours straight. Typically with my lasers, you usually want to give them a rest. So I'm not sure with that. I couldn't find anything in the information about it, but just something to keep in mind possibly. So let's go back to the normal mode, which is spotlight. Now we're going to talk about the wing lights. And the wing lights got some pretty neat features on them. So first off, you don't have to have the flashlight on in order to have the wing light turn on. So as soon as you open one of the wings, the light just comes on. And you can see it turns off at a certain point. Okay. So let's talk about these wing lights. So you have two different modes in the wing lights. You have cool white and you also have warm white. So I believe right now, let's check this out here. All right, so now we're in the cool white. So let's talk about cool white, and I'll tell you how to switch between. So cool white, the specs is high is 300 lumens for 4 hours, and low is 5 lumens for 145 hours. And this also has a ramping type design with memory. So you can ramp it up and down. If you turn it off, or if you use the button and turn it back on, it does remember the mode or the setting it was in. So it does have memory. We'll put it back down to low. Now, in order to switch between cool white and warm white, you just click the button really quick and then hold the button down. So now we're in warm white. I don't know if you can see the color temperature change in the camera here, but warm white is, oh, let me back up. I didn't say the Kelvin. So cool white was 6,000 Kelvin. And the warm white is 3,000 Kelvin. So the high in warm white is 250 lumens for 4 hours, and low is 5 lumens for 145 hours. And I also didn't mention the throw. So when you're in the cool white for the wing lights, the throw is 23 meters. And for warm white, the throw is 20 meters. So it's a little less for the warm white. But the nice thing about the warm white is it doesn't have the blue in it. So a lot of you might be knowledgeable about your circadian rhythm. So you don't usually at night want to have a lot of blue light, because this basically tells your body that it's daytime and it won't let you want to go to sleep. And so I would say at night you probably wanting to run the warm light mode of the wing lights. So very nice there, but this is pretty versatile. I mean, you can stand it like this, kind of like a lantern. You could put it on a tripod like this as a lantern, and you could also flip it around and use it as a lantern like this, you know. Another thing is if you're reading, let's say you had to read something on a table or something, you can just flip one wing light up and then read whatever you want. And then, you know, in the lower modes, it shouldn't disturb a lot of people. And so very cool. I mean, lots and lots of features with this flashlight. And so anyway, oh, one other thing. Yeah, we talked about strobe. Okay, so we're good. So we're going to go ahead and take this outside. We're going to test all the lighting features outside. Some of the wing light stuff I might put on camera. I mean, I'll test it outside too, but I might put some just showing you some of these modes before we go to the beam shots. But we're going to take this flashlight outside, test how it does in the dark. We're going to check the spotlight, the UV light, and the laser, and the folding wing lights. And we'll check all that outside here in the beam shots. Just so you know real quick, there will be a purchase link in the description as well as a coupon code. So check that out when you guys want to. Anyway, let's get outside and see how the HD02 does in the dark. Okay, sorry, real quick before we take it out to do the beam shots, there's a couple things I forgot to mention. I just wanted to go through here. So this does have an electronic lockout function. So this is a flash warning for you guys, by the way. So this will flash when I do this. So you go ahead and quadruple click. It'll flash. Now it's telling you it's in lockout. If you try to operate the flashlight again, it's again a flash warning. It's just going to flash. And not only does it lock out the main flashlight, it also locks out the wing lights. As I showed you earlier, if you open the wing lights, the flashlight will just turn on. But when it's in an electronic lockout, it will not. And to reverse that, you're just going to quadruple click. So you're back to your normal modes. You can also manually lock this out if you wish. Just got to be careful with your water resistance there. But if you unscrew the tail cap slightly, You can manually lock it out too, so it won't turn on because it's not making connection. You just have to watch out, obviously, if you're in rain or something. You don't want to do it that way, but you have both options, an electronic lockout, and you can manually lock it out by loosening the tail cap. So you can do that. All right, another thing I want to show you on the wing lights, it actually shows you or tells you the information on the wing lights. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. So it tells you the max lumens. It also tells you the color temperature. It also tells you how to operate the wing lights, so you can switch between cool white and warm white. So it's like that on both sides. I'll just go ahead and show the other side too. So it says that on both sides, so in case you should forget how to operate it, the instructions are actually written on the flashlight, the HD02. So anyway, I just wanted to tell you about those few things. Let me zoom back out. Before I went outside and did the night shot, so let's go ahead and do the beam shots now. Okay, I'm out here in my garage with a UV light. I have the UV light on high. It's kind of hard to make out, but you can see where looks like there's paint dropped on the floor here with the UV light. It definitely picks up things you wouldn't see otherwise. Definitely makes some wild colors out of different materials. You can see here with the soap, all the soap residue from the washing machine detergent. This is the dryer ball. All kinds of things. It's just the camera's not picking up as well, but if any of you mess with a UV light, you can tell. A lot of detectives and stuff, I guess, will use these things for looking for different crime scenes and this kind of stuff. I don't really know a whole lot about that, but it definitely is interesting to see everything that you normally wouldn't see with the naked eye. So pretty wild. All right, real quick, before we went on to the beam shots and showed you all the lighting features of this flashlight, the HD02 outside, just wanted to show you and talk a little bit more about the green laser before we take it outside. But this is a very bright, powerful laser. You can actually see the beam of the laser with the naked eye shooting across the room. You might be able to just make it out on camera here. So I just wanted to say this is very bright. I mean, this is definitely a lot brighter than like a cat toy you would get, like a laser pointer for a cat toy or whatever. So this laser would be great for like an instructional setting, like a teacher or something. You need to use it to point at the board or something like this. I mean, it would be definitely very powerful enough to do that even with bright light environments. So I just wanted to talk a little bit more about the green laser before we take the HD02 outside and check out all its lighting features outside in the dark. So let's get to the beam shots. Okay, the night has finally come, along with the mosquitoes, so I'll try to make this a little quick. But we are outside here, the Wurkkos HD02 Multifunctional Flat flashlight. And we're gonna start out with a spotlight. And just before we started the night shots here, I did put it on in the video, some images and maybe some video of the UV light. It was definitely hard to pick up with a camera, so I did my best, so I apologize if it wasn't the best quality. But that UV light's pretty cool. I mean, if you played around with the UV light before, you know, it definitely picks up all kinds of things that you wouldn't see normally. And also it's pretty cool with all the different colors that will pop out with that UV light. Anyway, let's go ahead and turn the spotlight on, and we're going to start out here in low. Now this is just 10 lumens. And 10 lumens is doing pretty good. I mean, if you were in a fairly familiar area, I mean, you could walk around quite well with this 10 lumens. You can see there's a hot spot, and there's quite a bit of spill actually, but the spill's not really showing up on the camera. It will when I bump the intensity or the lumens up here on the spotlight. But real quick, there's the bird bath. That bird bath is about 25 feet away from me. So doing really good in 10 lumens. And remember, with 10 lumens, you got 140 hours of runtime. So that is quite a bit of runtime. So here I'm going to go ahead and ramp it up. I'll try to do this a little slow or maybe pause as I go up. So we'll ramp up a little bit. That's not the full brightness, but you get an idea. You can see the stump out there. It's about 100 feet away. And you can see the spill now. I mean, you can definitely see it's got a hot spot and a lot of spill. So really, really nice. It gets out there quite well. I'm getting 330 meters of throw on this spotlight, so really nice. Let's go ahead and bump it up. Well, before I bump it up, let me tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to bump it up to turbo here, 3200 lumens. I'm going to take a walk out there with it so you can see what that looks like. And on the way back, I'm going to mess with the wing lights. I think we're going to start out with cool white, and then we'll go to warm white, and we'll see how that looks on film. But I'll just kind of hold the flashlight like a lantern. But anyway, let's pump up the turbo here. Yeah, really, really bright, guys. I mean, lights up everything really, really well. Quite a bit of throw, too. So let me take a walk out there. Okay, so you should have seen the spotlight there at the full 3200 lumens as I walked out through the yard there. Pretty impressive. And then I had to switch on to wing lights. I had to switch over to cool white first. And so I walked around a little bit with cool white on. And then I switched to warm white. Now, if anyone knows about the different color temperatures of different LEDs, cool white has a lot of blue in it. And so it tends to wash out a lot of the natural colors. So if you're looking at an object outside in the sun, in natural sunlight, the colors are going to look more crisp and natural to you in like a warm white. And that's what I did with the second run of the wing lights, is I've switched it to warm white. And you can definitely see the difference in the colors with that. So I'll try to put a picture in here of a previous video I did showing the difference between like a warm white and a cool white, and how you can see the difference in the colors. So that's pretty important. So I like that because, you know, with a warm white, it looks more natural as you would see it in normal daylight type setting than it does with a cool white. Cool white's really cool also. I mean, it has a lot of throw and a lot of brightness to it, but it's not the same as a warm white as far as the different colors. So just wanted to make you aware of that. I don't know if we can try to do it on the camera here. So let's go back to the wing lights. I'm going to switch it back to cool white first. All right, so we're on cool white with the wing lights. I'm going to ramp it up here. All right, so that is cool white with the wing lights. And you can see some of the browns and stuff pretty well. Now let's switch it to warm white. I don't know if you can pick that up. Can you see the difference? I can definitely see the difference with the naked eye, and a little bit definitely on the camera. That just gives you an idea. Now we're back to cool white of the differences. So pretty neat. Now let's go ahead and switch it over to the UV light. This is a UV light. Again, this is low, I think 0.8 watts. Good for 15 hours. You're not going to see a whole lot with the UV light. Let me see if I can bump it up a little bit. Oh, that actually was high. Sorry, that was 3 watts originally. And now we're in the low, which is 0.8 watts. So I'll bump it back up to high. Yeah, so definitely, hopefully you saw that in the earlier part of the video where I showed the UV light, the images, and maybe the video. So anyway, with that said, let's go over to the laser. All right, now we're on the laser. So I'm just want to let you know, with the naked eye, I can see the beam shooting across the yard. So the camera is not picking it up, but you can definitely see the beam. That's actually the bird bath right there. But you can see the beam with the naked eye shooting across the yard like a laser, not just the dot that you see there in the trees. You can actually see the whole beam. So that is pretty impressive. I wish I could pick it up on camera for you guys. I'll try to adjust the ISO up to max, but I still don't think it's picking it up. Nope. So sorry about that, guys, but trust me, it's definitely impressive. You can definitely see the beam shooting across the yard, which is pretty cool. Remember, this is a 3 milliwatt laser, good for 60 hours. So just again, remember the safety warning. Just make sure you don't point it at animals, people, or aircraft, and make sure you check your laws in your area. So very good. Let's get back out of that. We'll go back to spotlight. All right, well, that is the Wurkkos HD02. Like I said, it's like a multi-tool of a flashlight. It's got so many different features and capabilities, and you have it all in one package that you can take with you wherever you go. You got the charging bank, you got all the different lighting features and the laser and everything. So it's a pretty awesome light. It's the first light I've reviewed like this, and I am pretty impressed. So I hope you guys were too. So I want to say a big thank you to Wurkkos for sending out the HD02, and I just want to let you guys know there will be a purchase link in the video description along with a coupon, and that coupon may be for a limited time, so you probably want to check it out sooner than later. Anyway, guys, thank you for joining me for another video. You guys take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy Lumin.